Oh, no, 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 no. Don't act like you don't know what today is. It's Update Mondays! What's going on with you guys? TheCaliEffect, king of games here. And as you guys already know, I gotta update you guys about the health of my rheumatoid arthritis. So it has officially been 4 days since I've had any pain whatsoever. And by the time you guys get this video, it will be day six of me having no pain. Let's hope for that. I know that there's still more work ahead. I actually have an enlarged liver, something I have to check out, but it feels so good to at least be able to take a small break. So for the people that are in the middle of their battle, sometimes you might feel like you're losing. Please hold on, guys. It's almost there. Just hold on. You'll get close to that reprieve. Be able to gather yourself up and attack again, because we don't do no defense mode. Another thing I'm not going to be defending are these staple Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's right, I'm gonna get into the nitty gritty and I'm not gonna defend any of these cards that I put on the tier list. I'm gonna tell you what cards are powerful that are staples inside of this format, as well as what cards that you probably should be avoiding. So of course, if you want to see more videos like this, then make sure to use your 5th Nibiru to destroy that subscribe button, but most of all, hit that notification bell if you want to be too strong. Hey there, microphone. I'm glad you're not in the way this time. Keep it up. So without further ado, let's jump on into this tier list. So we can start talking about these categories. Now in this particular tier list, we're gonna have 5 categories, all the way from the cards you better be caught with it. It's almost self-explanatory. These are cards that you should strongly consider playing in your main board or sideboard where applicable, to, oh no, what are you doing, baby? I really think you guys just like when I say that. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, I like to say it. It reminds me of when I used to say, whoa. I'll try to say that more too. With the format actually changing almost seemingly overnight, it feels like my last hand trap tier list means nothing, because Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is actually, it's damn near a card you better be caught with it. But I'm actually just gonna go ahead and put it as pretty good because there are excuses not to play Ash Blossom. Now, Ash Blossom has actually found a revitalization because of how the format has changed. We've moved away from Rocket Dragon Link being the very best deck to Yu-Gi-Oh! To other strategies where Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring can actually be able to hit effectively. Make no mistake, guys, I don't think that Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring will ever go back to a Yu-Gi-Oh card that you must play in every single Yu-Gi-Oh deck. But for right now, it has some really cool interactions, like being able to stop a Prank Kids monster effect, to also being able to stop Miscus Graveyard effect. Did I just say Miscus? Like, I feel like I go to churches in order to Miscus because, you know, you're not gonna die from eating Popeye's Miscus. Miscus. Next is Book of Moon. I feel like Book of Moon is an incredibly underrated Yu-Gi-Oh card. This card is amazing against Prank Kids. It's amazing against Tri-Brigade. Your opponent special summons El Shaddai Winda to their side of the field well. El Shaddai Winda can't prevent you from special summoning if it's face down. It's actually really good when you want certain cards face down. Book of Moon is easily the best Neg-1 Yu-Gi-Oh card in the existence of Yu-Gi-Oh because of its versatility. I feel that Call by the Grave is the very first staple that you better be caught with it. Let's say hypothetically, even if your deck is immune to hand traps, boy, this card hits every single deck in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game as a strategy and prevents them from activating that card until the end of the next turn. I feel like Compulsory Evacuation Device would be on the lower end of a pretty good Yu-Gi-Oh card, so I'm actually just gonna go ahead and say it's a fairly situational card. We actually play in a Yu-Gi-Oh era where there's not a lot of negates, but there's a ton of extra deck monsters. This card can actually get rid of cards similar to how Book of Moon can get rid of cards. The only reason why I put it in the situational, because Book of Moon is the best icon in the game. You can use it on your turn, your opponent's turn, where Compulse is a trap card. Not all trap cards are built the same. I personally feel that Cosmic Cyclone is a really good Yu-Gi-Oh card. Look, it can hit Pandemonium in the standby phase as well as shut off Schism, but I wouldn't necessarily put this card in the better be caught with it because there's decks like Drytron which have literally no interaction, as well as Tri-Brigade. Man, Crackdown feels like a situational Yu-Gi-Oh card, but it's really a, oh no, what are you doing, baby? Crackdown is a Yu-Gi-Oh card that can take your opponent's monster, but a lot of times, What are you gonna do with it? You could use it for a link, but I mean, generic links aren't high impactful right now. And it is a card that is susceptible to back row removal, something that is seeing a little less play in this format, but that doesn't make this a great card. Dark Hole is actually not a oh no, what are you doing baby card. I'm gonna put it in the situational category. Main reason because while it does fail against decks like Shadow and Drytron, it's actually really good against Tri-Brigade. You'd be surprised on how many times your opponent makes this super board with Tri-Brigade that'll lose to a Dark Hole or Raigeki. It's kind of cool. And if you're playing a deck like, I don't know, Budget Dinos, you can destroy your own baby Sarasaurus in the process and trigger its effect. Evenly matched moves from the pretty good. I'm gonna have to say this is a situational Yu-Gi-Oh card. And the main reason why evenly matched is situational is because of Artifact Lancia. You can expect to see a lot more Artifact Lancia in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game because almost every single deck is hit by it, and that is a huge deterrent to evenly match. I completely love this Yu-Gi-Oh card, but I have to say right now, oh man, I don't want to do this. I just can't think of any situations where Chalice is really good. Why would you play Chalice over Book of Moon right now? Why would you play Chalice over Compulse? Oh no, what are you doing, baby? It really pains my heart to see that Forbidden Chalices and know what are you doing, but I mean, it doesn't have any pleasurable matchups other than stopping Window, which Book of Moon can do too. On the flip side, Forbidden Drip is a card that, yeah, it feels like right about there. Now look, there is a stipulation to the Forbidden Drip and a lot has to do with your wallet. More often than not, if your deck can afford to play Forbidden Drip and you can afford to play Forbidden Drip, play Forbidden Drip. Harpy's Feather Duster is a Yu-Gi-Oh card that I feel you better be caught with. This is a card that you place at least in your side deck. More often than not, you do put it in your side deck. And it doesn't really matter that a lot of the top decks don't play back row heavy decks. I mean, this is the card that wins you a game against back row heavy decks. Ice Dragon's Prison may have been a card that you should have been caught with, but now I'm just gonna put it in the pretty good. Ice Dragon's Prison's really good against Dino, can work against Drytron, but can struggle against BBW. The reason why I say this is because you can hit a Beast Warrior with a Beast Warrior, you can hit a Winged Beast with a Winged Beast, you can hit a Beast with a Beast, but that's kinda not effective. Tri-Brigade Revolt brings it right back, and on top of that, you need to hit the monster with the same monster. BBW plays lots of BBWs. I personally like black, white, Mexican, Middle Eastern. Wait, we're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh card BBWs. Imperial Order is actually a very, very underrated Yu-Gi-Oh card that people don't pay attention to. I know it sounds really weird, but if you're playing a combo deck, you should be playing Imperial Order. Dark Ruler No More does exist. This card stops Dark Ruler No More. And I know I actually don't have Dark Ruler No More on here for some reason. If I were to have it on this tier list, it would be a better be caught with the card. For the same reason why you play Imperial Order is the same reason why you play Dark Ruler No More. It breaks boards. I have to put Infinite Impermanence in the same category as Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This card can also be seen as a slightly more versatile Book of Moon, as it is a free negation, and a lot of the situations Book of Moon can handle, Infinite Impermanence can as well. And then Lightning Storm is also another really good Yu-Gi-Oh card. Almost better be caught with it if it weren't for those restrictions. I mean, it definitely would be a better be caught with it if it weren't for those restrictions. But Lightning Storm is good for being able to blow out those back row heavy decks, sometimes even blow out those monsters. Mind Control is fairly situational just because there's not always a situation where you want to take a monster. And I'm going to leave the non-staple Yu-Gi-Oh cards that we talked about in our very first staple list. I'm going to say Mystical Space Typhoon is also a fairly good Yu-Gi-Oh card if you are a player that main boards Artifact Lancia and doesn't want to discard for Twin Twisters. Well, Mystical Space Typhoon might be your bet. Or if you're scared of Artifact Lancia yourself, well, I mean, Mystical Space Typhoon is your bet. Paleozoic Dynamisc is being able to hit those cards on the field. You don't have to discard until it's banished. That's really good. And we've already talked about Dark Hole, so Raigeki fits that same criteria. I feel like Solemn Judgment is actually an underrated Yu-Gi-Oh card. Now, who would have thought in 2021 I'd be telling you guys how hip and privy Solemn Judgment is? Hear me out, guys. At the cost of half of your life points, you can negate a singular card. That doesn't seem too good until you realize that there are quite a few blowout cards in Yu-Gi-Oh that can win a game. Harpy's Feather Duster, Forbidden Droplets, Dark Ruler No More. All of those are really good board breaking cards, but What if you had the Solemn? Now, Solemn Judgment isn't a Yu-Gi-Oh card for every single deck, and it's nowhere near the card that it was a must-play Yu-Gi-Oh card, but it's very solid. It's actually extremely good. If you are really scared of a complete board breaker card, Solemn Judgment just might be your answer. Moving forward, Solemn Strike. Oh man, this card is always on this list. I feel that Solemn Strike, you know what? I don't think y'all ready for that sauce. I'm just gonna put it to the better or the underrated. Now, it's hard to be underrated when people know you exist and they know the strength of this card, but they almost underestimate this card because it's such an old Yu-Gi-Oh card, and that's fair. Solemn Strike literally feels like a jack-of-all-trades, versatile Yu-Gi-Oh card. You can stop cards like misking your opponent's graveyard. You can stop misking the hand. I mean, I don't know why you'd stop that, but stop that graveyard effect. You can stop Prank Kids from ever making a board. If your opponent Link summons using a Prank Kids and you strike the Link summon, they don't get the Prank Kids either. This is also one of the clear-cut outs against Drytron when your opponent summons Herald of Ultimateness because, it can't negate the strike. Solemn Strike is severely underrated right now. It's the jack-of-all-trades, do-it-all Yu-Gi-Oh card, and I feel that decks that even play a low trap count will start to consider playing Solemn Strike in their deck just because of its versatility. This is a, oh no, what are you doing, baby? I would say that this is a poor man's Solemn Strike, but Solemn Strike comes as a common. Solemn Warning does stop normal summons, but it's nowhere near versatile as Solemn Strike. Superpowerization actually has to drop a rung. I know it wasn't pretty good. I'm just gonna go ahead and drop it to situational. I feel that the deck that you're going to see a lot, which is Prank Kids, Drytron, Dino, it's really hard to fuse against those decks. Now with Prank Kids, if you actually just so happen to play Prank Kids Rocket Ride, then there's a different story. But other than that, I mean, it really depends on the deck that you're playing as well as the decks that you're playing against. And then there's Torrential Tribute. I mean, boy, people sleep on this card steal. I know Torrential Tribute is like a 16-year-old Yu-Gi-Oh card, but boy, pay attention, guys. Torrential Tribute. Triple Tactics Talent is also a card that you better be caught with. It's really unfortunate that some of the better you be caught with it cards are extremely expensive, but the good thing is that they should be reprinted inside of the 2021 Megatons, with one already coming out in the Battles of Legends set and being an OTS Ultimate Rare. Look at me talking about Ultimate Rare like the card's gonna get cheaper as an upgrade. Boy, TheCaliEffect, you be saying some crazy things. If you guys want to see a hand trap tier list, be sure to destroy that subscribe button. But a little bit of a hint, the two strongest hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh right now are Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring and Ghost Bell. They're extremely powerful Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Well, Triple Tactics Talent just creeps its way up and saying, not really, I'm gonna get some more. TTT is really good where there are a lot of combo decks, and with Dinos, Prank Kids, Drytron, and Tri-Brigade being combo S2 combo-like decks, Twin Twister sits with the other spell and trap card removal, serving as a multiple way to destroy cards at the cost of discarding a card. Upstart Goblin is, oh no, what are you doing, baby? I never thought I'd see this in this category. Now, the reason why I put Upstart Goblin in oh no, what are you doing, baby category, you guys might think it, running 39 cards instead of 40 is not an amazing thing. Consequently, running 42 cards in your main deck actually doesn't even change the statistics of things too much. And also, in a format where Droll and Lockbird is, it's good against most of the decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't want to upstart and then get drolled. On top of that, using Upstart Goblin completely kills your ability to play cards like Pot of Prosperity inside of your deck. I'd rather be able to Pot of Prosperity than Upstart Goblin almost any day of the week. And lastly is going to be the new card from the Lightning Overdrive set. If you guys have seen some staple Yu-Gi-Oh cards that you felt should be in this tier list, go ahead and post down below. Also, if you want to see some other types of tier lists, go ahead and post down below as well. I feel that Book of Eclipse is... oh man, you know, I'm gonna put it in the underrated category, and I'm also going to list why I feel that it could also be in the very situational category. Book of Eclipse is extremely underrated for one reason and one reason only. It's Book of Moon, but on drugs. I don't care about having to discard a card if I end my opponent's turn, their turn is ended. Let's say you're going against a combo deck that summons multiple monsters to their side of the field and they need to make that combo. There's a few strategies on this list that I can mention, but I'm not going to. Book of Eclipse not only ruins their first threat, it ruins their second threat. That's really good. The problem with Book of Eclipse? You have to target 2 cards. It doesn't say up to 2, so Yeah. Well, that is all that I have for the Staples tier list for June 2021. Again, if you guys want to see more amazing TheCaliEffect content, go ahead and check out these videos, as I'll catch you on the next one.